Hey, Rocket Nation. This is Coach Andy Albright from Chanute High School, coming to talk to you guys today about your character lessons. Mr. Epps talked to me about doing this, and so I thought the best thing to do is to bring two of my best student athletes I've ever had in the history of my coaching career and maybe Chanute High. Both Braden Dillow, two-time state champ, and then three-time finalist state champ Trent Clements. Just want to talk to you and kind of hear their stories, not mine, because just 4 years ago they were sitting in your seats at Royster, wondering what they're going to do with their life and where they're going to go. Both young men are going to college next year to wrestle, so that's pretty exciting news. Braden's going to the University of Little Rock in Little Rock, Arkansas, and Trent Clements will be attending NEO down in Miami, Oklahoma, which is a 2-year school. Both boys do everything right, and that's what we kind of want to talk about today, and find out what their keys to their success were, not only in the wrestling room, not only in the classroom, but just in life. Both young men are definitely winners and people you should look up to. I know my 3 daughters think the world of these young men and just kind of inspire about them. I know my daughters. One of my daughters, when it talks about one of her heroes, she writes about Braden Dillow and his work ethic. And then my youngest daughter on Bring Your Parent to School Day, Trent joined the Zoom and talked to the kindergarten class and how excited she was to know someone like Trent in her life. So when we start talking today, I'm going to kind of throw a few things at them. But the first thing, and I'll start with Braden, I'll start to the right. How do athletics and academics go together in your life?
They help keep a balance, I think. Like, it keeps myself accountable for how my academics are, necessarily to stay on top of them and make sure that I have to keep a good academics in order to enjoy what I love to do, and that is to wrestle. And in order to wrestle, I have to keep good academics. And it just kind of balances itself out.
Yep. And so Braden is a 4.0 student, and really half the reason he's going to the University of Little Rock is not only is he a good athlete, but he's getting it done in the classroom. And so that's one thing that's really important. College coaches don't always ask you how many matches or how many games you won or how many touchdowns you had, but they really want to know about your grade point average and your academics. Next, Trent's a 3.5 GPA going into his final semester. Trent, same question. How do athletics and academics go together for you?
I think wrestling and classroom go together because wrestling makes me confident. No matter, like I step on the mat in a singlet and I failed a few times, and that's made me realize that no test or anything is going to be harder than failing on the wrestling mat in front of a bunch of people. So it just gives me confidence.
Good. So these guys are kind of wrapping up their years. I didn't ever think that they would graduate, really never wanted them to graduate. If I could redshirt them a few years, I probably would. But I'm going to ask both of them a question, and I'll start with Trent on this one. What things would you do differently if you could going into to this moment right now? Academics, what's something you would like to change if you could?
Academically, I would just stay on top of my work more, not get behind. And, there's been times that maybe I've just kind of floated through a class and really give 100% effort every time. And, the same goes with wrestling. Maybe there's a practice that I didn't exhaust myself or I didn't give 100% effort. And I look back and I do have a little bit of regret knowing that I maybe let down myself and my teammates.
All right, Braden, anything you'd like to change or do differently?
I would definitely try and learn to be more adaptable. Everything doesn't go your way all the time, and I would honestly try and look for different solutions and be more adaptable, like I said, and and surround myself with more positive people early on. I think if you can find people who have common goals, then it makes it a whole lot easier to succeed.
Yeah, nice. Okay, so, and I'll go back to Braden on this one. Go back to 8th grade. If you could go back in time, and what would you tell 8th grade Braden Dillow? What advice would you give 8th grade Braden?
I would tell 8th grade Braden to trust the process and to fully commit. Like, it's going to have its lows, but it's definitely going to have its highs.
Good. All right, Trent, going back to 8th grade, what would you tell little Trent?
Just that you belong, whether it's at school in a harder class, an honors class, you can do that, or if it's in your sports or in a music class or a play, you can get that part in the play, or you can get that starting spot. You belong. You have the talent, and the people around you just believe in them.
All right. Like I said, both these young men, they're going to wrestle in college. We haven't had a lot of guys that have done that. Both academic honors again this year, actually for the second year for both of them. But what are some keys to success that worked for you? Is this Trent or Braden? Trent, you up? What are some successful things that you could tell the Rocket Nation that has worked for you academically, socially, athletically, anything like that?
Using the tools and people around you for your benefit. Your teachers and your coaches and your teammates and classmates, they're there to help you, and everybody's going through the process together, and just lean on them and make it a team effort.
Nice.
Yeah, like Trent said, taking ownership for the little things. I think if we've got technology today, I say take advantage and make little reminders, and don't let the little things slip by, because they add up in the long run.
So right now, the boys are talking about a lot of things, and everything is based around wrestling. But right now, Mr. Woods here and his production cameras here, and he has a crew of people that are doing that, and we have so many awesome things to offer the Rocket Nation when they become comments. And so just take advantage of it. We got great teachers here, just like you have great teachers at Royster. Hey, Carrie LaRue, John Needham, give you a big what's up. I'm sure I'm leaving out some other people that were there when I was there and had to deal with all my nonsense. But you got great teachers, you got great coaches, and we have so many opportunities, from choir to play to debate. Anything out there, take advantage of it. These two young men just took advantage of the wrestling part. But we have lots of things to offer here. So now I'm putting them on the spot, okay? Mr. Epps, this is for you. I'm putting the boys in the hot seat right here, and it's going to be kind of uncomfortable. And so we're gonna talk about some words. At the end of this, they'll probably tell you what my favorite word is, and they know. But a couple nights ago, we were in a group chat, and it just kind of went in a different direction. Usually it's just kind of teasing each other and just some nonsense, but it actually kind of got serious. And so we started talking about just words. And words mean a lot of things, and it's a great way to set goals and to motivate yourself. And there's so much meaning behind these words that instead of just talking about them, I feel like these young men live them. And I think that's what's been really successful for our program, is that we just don't talk the talk, and we walk the walk, we do it. And these young men are two of the best models for that. So that's why I asked them to be here today to talk to you guys. Okay, so who's up? Rock, paper, scissors. Who's going first?
I can go first.
Okay.
Trent's taking it. You get to rebound.
Yeah.
All right, rebound. That's a basketball word. Here we go. Let's go. I'm going to save that one for last. All right. The first word, if you can see it, is gratitude. That was one of the words that we were talking about, and what it means, and what it means to have strong character. And so gratitude is the first one. Trent, you're up.
gratitude is just being grateful for all the little things, all the little struggles and all the little victories, they add up in the end. And, when you succeed, when you walk across the stage in, I guess for you guys 4 more years, you can just be happy for just be grateful for all the little victories you've had the past few years.
Nice.
Yeah. I think it's realizing who and what has helped you through the years. I think taking advantage of every little thing that Trent said really helps. We've learned that not everything's a solid commitment because things can cancel, and I think taking advantage of every opportunity shows how grateful you are for them.
I mean, as a 42-year-old male, I have 3 beautiful daughters, smoking hot wife, and a lot of times, I seem like, to be honest, as a man, I'm not always grateful. But I'll tell you what changed me a lot, and just recently, was last year at this time. The last time we talked to anybody was you guys, Rocket Nation, and then the next day, I didn't see anybody. And we were pulled from school, and we all went home for spring break, and the spring break got extended. And it just made me, at that moment, realize how much I missed my athletes, how much I missed my students, how much I missed my coworkers, my teachers. And so I think that really made me be a lot more grateful for every opportunity, because you never know when you're going to lose it. And so this year, you put on a mask, I'm here, whatever, man, just to be around my friends and my students, and to be around great kids, So that's my part. I'm not always going to jump in, but every day with these guys coaching, every day with my students, I'm very, very grateful for. All right, Braden, you ready?
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Ooh, this is one of my favorite words. So here we go. Empathy.
Okay. I think it's just realizing, as a team, we go through, we grind out here, and we'll practice hard, and we push each other. And I think having empathy, you start to realize that what emotions people put into the sport, and by doing so, you soon realize, or you can feel their emotion when they win and when they lose. So I think by having empathy, you can help push each other and be with them when they win and lose.
Good, very good.
To me, empathy is just, I'm extremely fortunate to have a great team, and every night I go home. I know I have a wrestling team that loves me, and I go home and I have a family that loves me. So knowing that not everybody's as fortunate as me, and being able to put myself in other people's shoes and helping them out, whether that's maybe a teammate and he's having a bad season, or he's lost a couple matches, bringing them up is, that's what empathy is to me.
Yeah, well, good. The boys are getting it. Hope you're happy, Mrs. LaRue. All right, next one. Dedication. So who's up? Trent is up, and this is some of the most dedicated young men I've ever been around, so this will be interesting.
Oh, yeah. That kind of, to me, I know a few of these other words, like I said, but to me that kind of encompasses a lot of things. And, dedication to me is just doing every little thing right every single day. Knowing that your teammates do the right things, so you need to do the right things too. And whether that's in the classroom, on the wrestling mat, playing basketball, whatever you're doing, just got to do every little thing right.
Yeah, I think dedication is establishing a level of mentality to think that I'm going to do everything that I can, and I'm going to do it to the best of my ability. And I think when your dedication, it soon adds up, and I think people will see that and they'll start to act on that.
All right, very good. Now, these boys aren't public speakers, And so I'm throwing some tough stuff at them, and they're doing a really good job. So I'm really proud of them for doing that right now, for the fact that they're on the spot. They're probably doing a way better job in the wrestling room than if they were actually meeting you guys. So they're a little bit more calm. So the next one is another word, I can't remember who brought it up, was being accountable.
Okay. For me, that's like setting goals. Am I doing the necessary things? Am I showing that I'm dedicated to reaching my goals? And they're almost like little checkpoints that I set in order that I think will help me in the long run.
He kind of talked about holding yourself accountable, and I think the other side of that is holding the people around you accountable. You know, maybe somebody's making a bad choice, and you can, you know, however that situation needs to be handled, you can hold them accountable. You can get a teacher, or you can just handle it yourself. So not only to hold yourself accountable and do the right things yourself, but make sure your teammates do the same.
I think that's a big thing, being accountable, Rockets. Don't take it personal. You know, don't ever take it personal when someone's holding you accountable, because that's showing that they love you and they care. When people stop holding you accountable, they're giving up on you. So when the teachers are on you, your principal, your coaches, your parents, man, they're caring. And when they stop, that's when you should be worried. Okay, so you need people to hold you accountable. All right, here's another good one. These guys came up with these words, and they think I was planning it, but I really wasn't. It just kind of led into it. Humility, being humble, humility. Who's up?
I think it's me.
That's a good. All right.
Yeah, you know, I believe that at some point everybody wins. You know, you might not win the wrestling match. You know, you might lose. You might fail the test. You know, whatever it is, you might fail, but at some point you're going to win. And being humble is just holding your head high no matter the result, and you know, not rubbing it in people's faces when you do win. Your time will come. You will win that match at some point, right? Like, it might not be in high school. It might be getting the job you want. It might be getting in the college you want, but you will win, and when that time comes, like I said, don't boast about it, and don't rub it in people's face. Just stay on the grindstone, as we say.
Yeah. I think being humble realizes that you have to trust the process, and you can always celebrate your victories, but recognizing somebody's loss or your loss, and realizing that if they're doing the right thing and you're doing the right thing, then it will get better, and that your time will come.
Yeah, if you came through Chanute High School, he's won 130 matches. I know that because I'm a coach and I can brag on him. 136, both of them very few losses, made several state appearances, just state caliber wrestlers, one of the best in SEK history. Both of these guys are just amazing. And you know, Mr. Wood's videoing it right now, and he would probably say, if you didn't know who they were, you couldn't tell. Like they're not cocky people. They're just really humble and always working, and that's a sign of good families. They both come from great families. This is mine. This is mine. This is one of my words. So this is an older person word. So it's a little different. So we'll see. Loving. I think that's one that we don't talk about a lot as males. It's hard to do because you get teased or whatever, and so loving. There you go.
I think like when you're a part of this team, or even like it doesn't have to be this team, but like when you find a group, you start to care for them, and like when you love somebody or a group of people, then you're gonna feel you're gonna be empathetic with them, and you're gonna feel their emotions much like they will, and you'll want to help them. And I think just being there and like showing that, you'll develop it.
Yeah, you know, I think being wrestlers, you kind of maybe get the stereotype of You know, like, oh, being a tough guy, you can't show emotion, but, you know, we beat each other up in the room, and I think that's good. I think that makes us tough. But on the other side of that, you know, you see a teammate having a bad day, you know, there's nothing wrong with telling them how much they mean to you and, you know, being loving and being affectionate for your team and people around you.
Yeah. I don't know. I bet you these two probably in the years I've been around them, I bet you they couldn't count how many times I've told them I love them. You know, and I think that's something that it's okay. You know, as a male, I think it's okay to show those emotions. I know I struggled with it, but I think once I started having a family and having kids, I mean, you just see love and you see it different ways, and you see how being a teacher, just loving kids, and that's what we have at USD Fort 13 and Royster as well as Chanute High School. We have loving teachers, which that's the reason why people come here and want to be here. All right, who's up?
So,
Is it me?
yeah, it's you.
Forgiving. We got 3 more words. We're getting there. Forgiving.
You know, I keep going back to the wrestling team. It's kind of really all I know is my teammates, but you know, knowing that sometimes people don't make the right choices, and for whatever reason, you know, maybe they're just being kind of silly that day, but if they do make a bad choice and they learn from it, you can forgive them. And I mean, even if they don't learn from it, I guess you forgive them. But yeah, just knowing that, you know, going back to empathy, putting yourself in their shoes and trying to understand why they did it, I think you can, I think it's something we can all be better at, is forgiving people.
Yeah, I have to give my practice partners a lot of credit for this one. Like, Coach Albright gives me a hard time about this, saying, like, I'm a very awkward person. But when I practice, when I'm drilling, it's a lot of like headbutting and being brutally physical. And I have to give my practice partners a lot of credit because they forgive, like they don't hold a grudge or they don't get angry with me. Like they shake it off and they understand that that's what I have to do, and that's how I see forgiveness, is based on what they do.
And I think both these boys said really, really good points. But one thing that when you're talking about forgiving, not only are you forgiving people to move on to feel better, but for these guys to be successful, or for any of you to be successful, we're all going to make mistakes. We're all going to mess up. And we're going to lose, and we're going to stumble. And you have to be able to forgive yourself. That's a big one. Like, you have to forgive yourself. And as a coach, sometimes I struggle with that, like thinking I didn't prepare them or something. And so sometimes I just have to forgive myself. Like, hey, Coach Albright, Andy, you did the best you could. Just stop being so hard on yourself. And so that's the thing that a lot of us need to learn, is it's okay to forgive yourself. Okay? So that's a good one. We got 4 more. We're rolling. I swear. We're going. Perseverance.
Yeah.
This is Braden's all over perseverance.
Yeah. I think it's definitely toughing it out. Like I said earlier, it's not always going to go your way. And just recognizing that this could possibly make a great story or make you tougher, and wanting to embrace the challenge, I think that's what it's all about. Like, and wrestling really captures that.
Yeah, I think as a school district right now, we are persevering, you know, in a very big way. I think we're one of the only school districts in the area that has gone to school every day through COVID. And, you know, I think that just means that we have good people in charge that are, you know, doing the right things and making the changes that need to be made for us. And, you know, it's a hard time right now. And persevering is when the going gets tough, you get tougher and you keep going. And nothing can stop you. And yeah.
Perseverance is a big one. You guys are going to see it in marriage, being a parent someday. You just got to keep moving. And Braden Dillow, we saw it this year. Trent and I were there at practice when Braden Dillow suffered an injury that we thought we'd lost him for the season, and the team was sad, and he was teary, and we thought his ankle was broke, and he managed to come back and win a state title on an ankle that most people couldn't do because he persevered through the pain, the time off, and he just found a way. And we see that in athletics all the time. All right, we got 3 more. Uh-oh, who's up?
That's him.
Oh, this is yours.
It's on every time.
Genuine.
Yeah.
That's Trent's word. That was the one in the text. When I said, what is your word? This is what Trent said. So I'm curious to hear what he has to say.
I think being genuine goes a long way in today's world. Hate to be negative, but there's a lot of fake people out there. And, I think me and Braden can both say, we've been on teams with some fake people that acted like they were committed and said they were committed, but they weren't truly bought in, and they did not do everything right. And being genuine is just letting the world know who you are and being true to that. Like I said, that goes a long way. We live in a pretty fake world with social media, and anybody can put on a good front with that. So,
yeah.
I like it.
Yeah, I think it's a lot of what he said. It's making a level of honesty with yourself and understanding where do I stand, and am I living the way I want to? And it's kind of hard to beat what he said, but it goes along with that.
Nice. All right, we'll give you the last one.
All right.
Actually, there's one more, but integrity. Okay. Is that yours?
No, mine was humility.
Oh, okay. Who was integrity? Was that you? Oh, Trent had 2 of them. My bad. So integrity is our 10th word, Royster. I hope you guys are listening. I hope you're not falling asleep. Mr. Epps, I hope we're making you proud right now. But we're almost there.
Integrity is a lot of living the lifestyle that you want to. Are you being the character that you want to? Are you showing others? Are you a role model? And I think here at CHS we strive to do that.
All right, boys. There's one last word. There's one last word. Can you guess the word that Coach Albright uses quite a bit? It sums up all of this, I believe.
It's grit, I think.
They are correct. It is grit. I'm curious what they think about it. I think it's probably my favorite. Who's up?
I am. Like you said, it's all-encompassing of these words, and, being gritty, to me, it's just it's just everything. It's just being tough. It's being focused and determined. It's not cheating on your diet, going your hardest in your workouts, and just giving your best effort all the time.
Yeah, I've been saying it a lot. Everything's not going to go your way. And I think by being gritty, you're staying true to your goal, whether it's academics, athletics, or any fine arts. By staying gritty, you're committing yourself to something.
Just both boys talking about grit. Just, truly these boys are the definition of grit. Trent suffered a tough loss, but he's here today to talk to the Rockets. Not everybody would do that, but that's grit. Talked about Braden's injury. Braden's had several injuries. He's had knee injuries. He's had all kinds of things that have put him back, but that's grit. Grit just goes so far. I mean, the word that I want for my daughters, if they could have a word, is grit. I think that's what parents want for their kids. I mean, grit's what gets you the job. Grit's what passes the test. Grit's what wins the game. Grit's what gets you the first chair in band. Grit is what gets you the lead role in plays. And when you don't get it, grit keeps you moving there. And so all these words to me just wraps up into a great word, grit. And if you're a gritty person, you're going to be successful, Rockets. And so if you get anything from this today, we kind of had some fun with the words, but these young men are successful. They're going to probably someday come back and give to this community maybe. They both love Chanute. They love the town, and hopefully we get them back someday because they're great young men. I know Trent's looking at education. Makes me proud. And Braden's looking to go be a doctor like his dad, which is awesome. He probably needs to go be an orthopedic or something because I can't really lift my shoulder and he owes me a free operation in about 7-8 years. But both these young men, they have what it takes. Great role models, live the right lifestyle. It's not fake, it's true. Can't ask for better role models. And so Rockets, you should be proud because they were once Rockets, and we're hoping some of you student athletes there come to Chanute and you guys replace these people. That's what we want. We want more people like these guys, and that could be you. Mr. Epps, thank you for having us. Again, Teresa Taylor, Needham, Carrie LaRue, love you guys. I know you put up with me. Thanks for having us, Rocket Nation. Hope you enjoyed this. Next time, see y'all.